You have to you have to sort your albums by alphabetic order.
What did I say?
During the meanwhilest.
During the meanwhilest? No, I don't like that at all.
Well, hello, it's Dexter and me, back on YouTube, and back with a complete departure this week. No, that doesn't mean to say I'm going to make a decent video. This is as rubbish as they usually are. But I'm not going to talk about anything photography related today. Instead, I'm going to talk about another major love of my life, and that is music. Now, anybody who watches my videos to the end, might be some of you, I'm not sure, will know that I usually set a montage of images to a piece of music that I've chosen. And I've had a few comments in the past about that taste, if you want to call it taste, in music. So I figured I'd have a quick rummage through my record collection and pull out a few of my favourite albums and share them with you. Now, I say record collection because I love records. I love vinyl records. I've got a lot of CDs, a couple of hundred CDs as well, but I really love vinyl. And the reason is quite simple. When you put a vinyl record on, you listen to it from start to finish, or from one side to the other, as the artist intended you to listen to the album. There's no chopping and changing like you can do with a CD, or even worse with, like when you're streaming music. No, the real essence of listening to music, for me anyway, is the vinyl album. And I've got a good couple of hundred, and I've chosen a few of my favourites today. First up, and obviously in true proper record collector style, you can only go through these in alphabetical order and then by release date of the album. That's the only way to do it. I'm sorry if you disagree, but you have to you have to sort your albums by alphabetic order and then the release date, because it's a must. Right, the first one is Acgc's Back in Black. Now, when Bon Scott died, I was a massive Acgc fan all through my school days. And when Bon Scott died, I was utterly devastated, and I didn't think they could make another record ever. But they did. They came out with Back in Black, probably their best album. It's chock full of quality, to be honest. The songs were written by mostly by Bon Scott and Angus Young and the other members. But then obviously the new singer comes in and sings them and does a very good job. He's still there doing a very good job to this day. Second and third are these. These are absolute classics in my mind, and they are the Beatles red and blue albums. These are, I think, bread and butter for any record collector. I listened to the Beatles all through my childhood. I loved them. We had a little, my sister had a Dansette record player, if you remember those things, the old mono ones. But my sister's 14 years older than me, and when she left home, she left the record player behind and the records. And the very first record I ever listened to, and the first record I actually loved, absolutely loved, was Let's Dance by Chris Montez. I played that to death, and I loved that little Dansette record player. And then my parents, who were possibly the strangest parents in Christendom, decided to burn it along with all the records. So I came home from school one day, went into the little lounge there and put my records on, and they'd all gone, burnt. There we are. That's what life was like growing up in my household. Next up, I've got another classic, David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders from Mars. No explanation needed. This next record, Dire Straits, Making Movies, was a staple of mine throughout my sixth form years, first love and all that, and then off to college. I played this album to death. Got my favourite Dire Straits song on it, Romeo and Juliet. Just an absolute masterpiece of a record. the best album they ever made. Ton of Love was quite good, then all downhill after that. This next one is such an iconic record. Electric Light Orchestra, Out of the Blue, and this is what LPs are all about. Look at that. You can't get that with a CD or a stream, can you? Absolutely superb. A double album from the age of vinyl, when you could only really get about, I don't know, 40 minutes tops onto two sides of vinyl. So if you had more, and clearly ELO did when they brought this out, it had to be on a double album. An absolute utter classic. As is this. Now, I'm not a huge fan of live albums, but this one, Led Zeppelin, Song Remains the Same, is a must for any serious rock fan. Just, you know, 4 sides of absolute live magic. Unbeatable. This one, this is the first album I ever bought. The very first LP I ever bought. We had a little corner shop in our village, and they started selling these music for pleasure albums that you could get back in the 70s. I think I was about 7 or 8 when I bought this, and obviously played it on my dance set. And it is Jeff Love and his orchestra's big war movie themes. And you know, I still play this album to this day. It's fantastic, you know, such evocative tunes from big war movies, you know, which were, you know, massive when I was growing up as a very, very young chap in Swansea. I will cherish this album until my dying day. I'll cherish them all till my dying day, but this one will never ever leave. Right, next up is another live album. Different one this though. It's Monty Python live at Drury Lane. Now, when picking Monty Python albums, I wasn't sure whether to pick this one or their matching Tie and Handkerchief. And the reason for matching Tie and Handkerchief is it's got that concentric side too, where you put the needle down and you don't know what you're going to get. There's 2 concentric recordings on that side. But this one is just, it's a greatest hits, if you like, of Monty Python. And another must-have. All right, Queen. Right, I love Queen. As you can tell, they are my all-time favourite band. Trying to pick one Queen album is like trying to pick a favourite child, so I couldn't do it. In the end, I picked 3, and they are 3 consecutive albums, I think, from their golden era. And they are, he said, Sheer Heart Attack, probably, for me, the best Queen album ever made. A Night at the Opera. Now, this isn't my original pressing. I can't find my original pressing of A Night at the Opera. This is like a newer version I've got. I think I must have lent the other one out and just forgotten to get it back. Superb album with Bohemian Rhapsody on it, of course, but besides that, just chock full of utter quality. And then this, A Day at the Races, the follow-up to A Night at the Opera, contains my all-time favourite song, not just by Queen, but my all-time favourite song, end of, and that is You and I. A song written by their bass player John Deacon. Yeah, and again, like Night at the Opera, you get this gorgeous gatefold with the lyrics inside. I think this is a Japanese. Yeah, this is a Japanese import album. I was into buying those some time ago when I was a youngster. And go back in. This, of course, is one of the downsides with vinyl, is packing it back up safely. I keep all my records in these plastic sleeves. It's just something I do. Keep everything nice and safe. They are all getting a little bit threadbare now, because some of these are, you know, they're like 45 years old. Yeah, a day at the races. At a quality. Next up, this is from my sixth form days. Hemispheres by Rush. Rush were massive when I was in the sixth form in school in between 1980 and 1982. And this was my favourite Rush album because it has my favourite Rush song on it, The Trees. There we go. Rush Hemispheres. And I love the album cover. When I was a rock fan back in the early 80s, my sister embroidered me a jacket with the sort of Rush pentangle thing and this chap in the middle of it, and I was the talk of the school with that on the back of my denim jacket, and lots of very, very jealous people. This next album, my parents bought this for me one Christmas, and I'd never mentioned I liked this chap because I'd never really heard any of his stuff. But I'm now an utter complete Bruce Springsteen fan, and this is his double album that came out in 1980, The River. And again, 4 sides of vinyl, chock full of majestic quality music. I think this, along with Darkness on the Edge of Town, probably my 2 favourite Bruce Springsteen albums, but this one, because it holds so many memories for me. Like my parents bought it without even knowing I'd like it, and yeah, a leap of faith by them, and by the end of Boxing Day, I was hooked. Last album on the list is another live album, and it is a classic, Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous. Absolutely superb. Again, the gatefold sleeve with all these sort of concert photos inside. Don't get that with your stream from Spotify or whatever, Deezer, whatever you stream music from. We are. That is a stroll through the darker reaches of my mind and my record collection. I hope you found this in some way interesting and not too overindulgent. But then, hey, nobody's watching my videos right now anyway, so I think I can be as overindulgent as I like. Yeah, there we go. That's it from Dexter and me for this week. We'll be back next week with a little chat about where this channel is going to go in 2021, because things are going to change. I think they have to. My views have just fallen off a cliff. Now, I don't make videos for views. I don't care whether people watch them or not, but I've been putting a lot of hard work into making videos, and then nobody's watching them, nobody's engaging with them. So I figured I am going to make more personal videos to myself. Anyway, we'll go through that next week. For now, though, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little detour. And Dexter and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.